So, ladies and gentlemen, Akalon here, and welcome back to each and one of you. And of course, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. I am very happy to have you here. And of course, in today's video, we are taking a look at Anduin. On this channel, we have spent many a video taking a look at the Horde and at Sylvanas. But there is one character in Shadowlands that does not get the love that he deserves, and that is absolutely Anduin. There were many reveals and sort of foreshadowings in Shadows Rising that hinted and sort of pushed the story of Anduin just ever so slightly forward. We know that Anduin is one of those that's been abducted. It is actually telling also in the cinematic where Anduin was abducted that Anduin was the only one shown, meaning Blizzard definitely have major plans for Anduin within the Shadowlands. But what do those plans entail? What is the future of Anduin? That is the question that we'll be exploring throughout this video. If you want to know more, you're going to have to keep watching. But before you do that, please just slap a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button and also smash that bell. It does help out the channel a ton, and also share this video around because, yes, sometimes the algorithm just doesn't want to work, and your sharing does actually go a very long way. With all of that said, remember I stream live every Tuesday to Friday, the link in the description down below to Twitch, or if you want to see all of our lore discussions, all of the loregasm, 4 hours of World of Warcraft, unabashed, unapologetic lore, you can do so by joining us every Sunday right here on YouTube for the Sunday Night Chill Show. With that said, Alex, roll the video. So I don't know, do you guys want to hear my theory about Anduin? Have I shared my theory about Anduin with you guys before? Right. So this theory really comes hot off the back of Shadows Rising. In Shadows Rising, we see a couple of rather interesting things happening, and very specifically the things that we see happening within in Shadows Rising, and just for future reference here, I don't give a fuck what your thoughts are on the author of that book. The book itself was pretty good. So, just in case people were trying to say shit about that, I don't give a fuck. Let it be. The book still was fun. We see Jaina going through a bit of almost like a flashback story, if you will. So Jaina goes through this entire thing where she sees someone that she hasn't seen for a very long time almost emerge within Anduin. She sees Arthas. It's slight, but it's there. Now, let me just be clear, because again, this is something that I have to sort of put out there before people come at me in the comment section with all sorts of bullshit. By saying that Anduin is going down a dark path, I am not then also equating that to Sylvanas or what Sylvanas did. This is a separate theory. Because a lot of people seem to think that whenever I make an argument for Anduin going down a dark path, that he'll excuse Sylvanas' actions, but he won't excuse Anduin's actions. The difference is in who you are as a person. Sylvanas as a person is sort of the perfect anti-hero, right? It is sort of the perfect anti-hero. It's who Sylvanas is. Anduin on the other hand, isn't that. That's not who Anduin is. Anduin is a good boy that is going down a very dark path. Now, in Shadows Rising, we see Anduin doing a couple of things that's rather peculiar. Jaina happens upon Illyria and Turalyon, where both Illyria and Turalyon is using their respective forces to extract, is maybe a nice word for it, let's just say torture, but extract information from villagers. Jaina is shocked. She did not expect this. And so Jaina returns to Stormwind to talk to Anduin, to convey to him what has happened. The book describes her telling Anduin and looking for a reaction. She's looking for a very specific reaction. And the way the book sets it up, you get an idea that if she doesn't get the reaction she wants, she kind of knows something very bad is coming. Because she has seen this before. Remember, Anduin right now is hellbent on catching Sylvanas. It's pretty much the only thing he cares about, is catching Sylvanas. Anduin's answer, after she tells him about all of this, the ends justify the means. This actually shocks Jaina. You see, because that's the exact answer she wasn't looking for. Because when the love of her life, Arthas, would give anything to stop Mal'Ganis, he also had this idea of the end justify the means. So same, not different. Anduin is going down the exact same path as Arthas did, just with a different conduit. Mal'Ganis was the conduit of Arthas. Sylvanas is the conduit of Anduin. But I believe that things, remember, for Arthas, the darkness came because of necromancy. It was necromancy that eventually led to his downfall. It's also interesting that both of them is extremely committed to the light. You see, the light is problematic. Because the light only believes a single truth, it is so easy to fall when you follow the light. Because it is so easy to become fanatical when you believe this. We see it in the real world every single day. People who so fundamentally believe that they are correct, that they are willing to brand everyone else enemies if they don't believe what they believe. This is exactly the problem with the light. It is the fanatical response to the universe. I am correct. And therefore, if you are not with me, you must be against me. There is no gray area within the light. And this is why the creatures of the light, the followers of the light, continuously lead down these dark alleyways. But Anduin's downfall will actually not come from the light. It will also not come from death. It will come from the void. Again, in Shadows Rising. Now, before people go, dude, so he's going to be evil because of the void? No. He's going to be evil because of the light. But embracing the void is going to be the thing that gets someone killed. And for those of you that might not have known where this comes from, again, Shadows Rising. In the final chapter of the book, Anduin stands in front of, what's her name? Oh my god. She died at the... Oh my fucking god. Sylvanas raised her, Syrah. Thank you so much. God almighty. Anduin stands in front of Syrah. I could legit see Syrah in my fucking mind's eye, and yet I could not get onto her name. Anduin stands in front of Syrah, who's been turned by Sylvanas into a, well, effectively a banshee, but something similar to Nathanos almost. The book at least describes Syrah in a similar state as Nathanos, not rotting. Syrah is a higher being. She's not like the other Scourge or Forsaken. She was definitely put through some kind of ritual. He stands in front of Syrah, and it says that there is shadow that runs from his shoulder down his arm and into the palm of his hand, where it lingers for a moment before it disappears. Shadow. Void. You You see, we now see just how the void is created through the eyes of Anduin. When a creature of the light starts to experience despair, starts to become overwhelmed with its own fanaticism, the void starts to create itself, if you will. The void, remember Xal'atath's words is very clear on this. The light views us as monsters that should be slain. We do not share this view. To us, they are brothers and sisters who have merely lost their way. And they will return to the masters in time. This is what Xal'atath believes. Xal'atath tells us that the void doesn't view the light as an enemy, as a monster, as something terrible. They're brothers and sisters. It's all they are. See, the void was created from within the light. As a creature of the light becomes more and more fanatical, reaches the natural end of its fanaticism, the void can be created within that. And it's also interesting that during Legion, we learned that whenever a Naru falls, it is almost always because of the involvement of a mortal. Why? What is it that mortals have? What is it that mortals possess that can turn the Naru into void, or void Naru? Free will is an interesting answer. Well, free will, emotion, soul, it all comes from a place where we as mortals aren't restricted to the belief of our specific cosmological force, because we don't belong to that cosmological force. Our choice comes from within ourselves. We can choose pretty much whatever the fuck we wish to choose. So when we affect the Naru that have a very limited stance on it, the eternal ones of the light, if you will, when that crosses into them, when that interferes with their ability to think, it opens them up to the darkness that is the void. So perhaps Anduin's own change points this out. But I would like to hear what you guys have to say. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because this is, I realize, a bit of an out there theory. What's more important is, how does Anduin get saved? Because I truly believe that Anduin will be saved. The question is, by who? I'm not going to tell you why, but I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction. You guys can quote me on this. If by the end of Shadowlands this didn't happen, I was wrong. But this is my prediction. The one that will bring Anduin back from the darkness will be either Turalyon or Velen. But in doing so, in the effort to bring him back, one of them will die. And I have a feeling that it's going to be Velen. That's what I believe. Now, let me know what you guys think.